Okay, let me give you the short version and the long version of what happened today. The short version is that this price just went up strong and then it reversed at 10 o'clock news. The 10 o'clock news, that's a pintail. It went over both these trend lines that are coming down and it reversed. And it's been staying at the bottom portion of that day. And that's what, it just never really had a big bounce. I took a long right here and had a profit, right? And then I got in before the news. And when the news hit, the Michigan sentiment, it just went down. And I waited a while to add one. And then I finally added a third one, and I should have scalped right here. My first mistake today was I should have scalped out when it popped up. I almost did. And I said, well, I'll put my stop on break even. So this ad, I got out for break even before, and then I got back in and scalped a little bit right here. So I ended up scalping one right here for a little tiny bit. And then I scalped two here, and I kept scalping all throughout this area. It just never went anywhere. And basically tried one last time right here because it looked like it was going to break out, and it just kept going down, and I just got out for break even through a series of adding and scalping techniques, and basically we're down about $64. At one point it was just a tiny little pintail, and it even went red. And when it starts to go red like that, falling below the previous day's high, you never know how far down it's going to go. That's why we have our box here to measure the largest days, 500-point days that can happen. And it happened in the same area that this 500-point range reversal happened, and this 500-point reversal happened in the NASDAQ micro contracts that I'm trading. So you got to be ready for that. And I'm trying not to add too much. I'm trying not to add too big, and I'm trying to, make this real money trading. And this is a simulator. I never did get a chance to really get into the Apex account. After that reversal, I just didn't know how far down it was going to go. When it goes down on news, you never know how far down something's going to go. And I didn't want to take a chance on using my real money accounts or the Apex funded accounts that I'm trying to pass. So today was just all simulator. Now, if you want to look at the long version of what happened, check out the rest of this video. Peace. All right, here's my plan to figure out what I think the day's going to do. I think it's a bullish day. Here's the day chart. It's popping up over that trend line. It made a huge move up, but now it's coming down. It looks bearish because it's starting to come down. Do I think that this is going to continue down, turn red, and continue to engulf the candle down below? I don't think that's what'll happen, but it could happen. If there's some unsurprising news that comes out. I don't see any news on the schedule, but anything can happen. We have to be aware of that. So my plan is that this is a deep pullback. It's going to bounce. It could turn red, but if it does go red, I'm thinking that it's going to probably find some support intraday and stay in this area here. So I'm starting to calculate my scalping and position sizing technique. I waited for it to pull back a big bunch, and then I just barely got in with my simulator first, because I have this theory that if my first entry and my first trades tend to go against me, I'm going to go ahead and jump in with 1 micro here on my simulator and let it continue to go against me, and then I'll be looking to get in on the Apex account, and then I'll be looking to get in on my real money account as it continues to go against me, with the idea that my bias is still correct on the daily chart, that it will inevitably find support down here. Now, I could be wrong, guys. We could end up at the end of the day here. This thing can crash and continue to go down, and I could have a red day. So let's just understand that anything's possible. But that's where I'm at right now. That's my plan. I've calculated how far down it is to take out all this liquidity right here that's been generated overnight and from yesterday. And if the market wants to quickly just go down and sweep all that liquidity there, you're looking at about a 100-point drop. Well, it just continued to go up, so I just grabbed whatever profits I could when it hit the highs of the morning pre-market. So now I'm not in anything, but I like the idea of being in the market psychologically and waiting for it to go against me in the simulator, and then I can get a better location for the real money accounts. I like that idea. I'm going to experiment around with that for a while. I'd rather it go against me in the simulator and get a good, better, much better price with the Apex accounts. But at the same time, I've got to be able to just get in this trade when I need to get in the trade. It looks so good right now. Why would you not take that breakout right there? It's very tempting. Well, it did take off and pop right on through there. That little breakout area came down and tested, and it broke out, had some news, came back down below that all. I'm trying to decide, is this going to be support or is it going to reestablish itself as resistance? Because of the candle formations that have been ignored here. Right here, the news came out and it slammed down into that support area where it broke out and created a really strong green candle, but then it just violated it, and now it's trying to push back up through that area. So this is really interesting to watch price activity. Is it going to fail again and come back down? Is this going to be a choppy area all day long? And it's just interesting to watch. Trying to determine that area is going to be very important, whether I go long and when I go long here. So I got to watch it very closely. And I did get back in right before the news with another trade, and that's when the news came out and it came down. So I don't like adding to my position too quickly. I've learned that the hard way. And journaling has made me become very aware of some of these flaws. It's very important to keep a record of your mistakes. So as you see this area right here, which strong candle up, violated it, coming back up to that area. That's the same place it broke out, right over here. And it's the same area that was resistance. So it's either going to be resistance or it's going to be support. So I guess a third option would be that it can just chop around and head fake on both sides all day long, which is the worst. But here it goes failing again, so let's keep an eye on it. Now here's what I was talking about, the deep pullbacks. We got in way at the top before the news on the simulator, came back down to a reasonable area where support was, and I added one. So now I'm long 2 contracts. Now it's still going down. I'm only long 2 contracts. And what I like is that I'm being patient. I'm not just jumping in. I almost hit it right here, which was the idea was that I would get out of it if it continued down after I entered in. Sometimes you got to do that. You can't just hold your ads every single time, because sometimes there's a special area that if it doesn't work, you don't want to keep that position in place. You just get out of it, and now you're back to your regular size. But I like that I'm waiting. And I also like that I'm still planning on using my real money account when it gets down to the point that I was looking for earlier in the day. When I first entered this trade right here, the very first trade, when it started going against me, my plan was to wait for it to come down to these levels here and get in with my real money. That's still my plan, and it's not there yet. So I'm going to stick to my plan and use all these accounts to kind of gauge the best time to get in with my real money, and hopefully in the end also be profitable in the simulator. So we had a profitable first trade in the simulator, and then I got in before the news. I didn't think the news was going to be that big a deal. It just may be an excuse for the algos to go down and sweep liquidity, which is, there's so much generated liquidity up here on the 10,000 tick chart. You can see all that liquidity from yesterday and then overnight. And this thing could really just go all the way down, which if it does, that means the day chart is going to put in a gigantic wick and turn red and come down in a red candle, and that's when we got to watch the daily range of the candle. And what's the maximum daily range of the candles that we've seen on the days is about 500 plus points. 500 plus points. So as long as here's a 509 point day, reversal day that just closed at the bottom. That was a tough day. Here's a 512 point day that went up and reversed and came down and closed. Could that happen here? Yeah, it absolutely could happen here. And we could be heading all the way down to the moving averages, which is a long ways down. All right, we have officially turned into a red pintail reversal formation on the day chart. That's pretty wild. So how far down can it go? Will it continue to go down? Is it going to find support? I'm looking forward to sweep liquidity down in this area right here, and I will try to add one more to my position, and I think that's reasonable. So we'll wait patiently to see if it comes down. Let's see what it's doing on the hourly chart. Look at this huge reversal candle, engulfing candle, but it's coming down into a choppy consolidation and the rising 50 EMA. So I'm interested in possibly taking, some scalping right there for sure, but we'll see. Okay, I'm adding a third one, and I need to have my mind made up about what my strategy is, because I probably would not be so carefree with the if it was real money, adding a third contract right here. And that's the thing we have to be very, very understanding, is that we're not trading the same way with the simulator as we are with our real money. In the simulator, I can add up to 100 micros. Would I trade that way and risk $10,000, $20,000 in real money as a drawdown, or even an unrealized drawdown? No, I wouldn't. The reason why I'm adding it is because, well, it was forming a nice doji candle on the 15-minute chart right here, but it didn't close. That's one of the problems. One of my problems is that I'm adding too soon. So I'm trying not to do that. This is a pretty gigantic move down, but when we look at the daily chart and we go, okay, this thing could go down 500 points, and it's just now, it's only moved 135, you got a long ways to go down. And what's interesting too is on the daily chart is that it's right where the last time it reversed. You see this big candle right here? The last time it reversed down like that, same pintail area, it could easily reverse like that again. Very dangerous situation. So I like that it's coming back up in this little pintail hammer on the hourly chart, 15-minute chart, I mean. And it did come down into that consolidation area where the 50 EMA is coming up. This whole box area is a slowing point with the trend line coming down this way where it could bounce up off that area. But I wanted to give it a shot right here to add. And if it reverses and goes down, I should be willing to just get out of
order submitted,
one of those trades before.
Order canceled.
And just have my mind made up that I'm going to sell stop right there.
Order submitted.
One of the positions. Okay, so I feel much better about that now. The last ad was up here, 268, and then the next ad was down here, 38, 28. It's only 40-point drop. That's not very much. But if I can scalp out of it a little bit, go ahead and just, once it pops up here, get out of it, sell a little bit. Then I'll start reducing my losses and unrealized losses, and start to build a position at a lower price. That's the goal. Okay, I did something that I didn't want to do, but it's a smart thing to do. Price went up here. I should have taken some profit right there, but I just got out of the ad when it came back down to the entry price. So if it keeps going down, I'm not going to go down with it. I'm just going to hold the two that I have, and it could just come down and tick you and go right back up. But I got my average price for the two that I had up here still, right here. I have my average price for the three. I was waiting for it to go up a little bit more. It came right back down and stopped me out of the third micro. I could have had my stop underneath the low of that, and I probably should have. A couple of things I should have done. I should have taken what I could get out of it when it got up here to this trend line that was coming down. I really didn't think that that was going to be a resistance area. But one thing's for sure I'm glad about, that I'm getting better at, is if it goes against me after I add, get out of the ad, right? I can hold two. I really can hold three, but I don't want to hold too much today. I want to test myself to see if I can get out of trades when I'm supposed to get out of them, because that can really start to increase the unrealized drawdown when you're holding too much. So yeah, I came all the way back down, stopped me out of the ad, and now it's going back up. We'll see what happens. I'm only holding the two. I know where my average price is for those two. We already had a winner on the first trade, so if it gets back up here, we're still positive for the day. So it's still early enough to just kind of let this thing play out. And that's what we're going to
Order
do.
canceled.
Take that order off. Now, if it keeps going down, that'll be great because then I can add back at a lower price without having to hold this part of the ad for the drop. See, so that's something that I've noticed in my trades that when I add, if I add too early, I need to get out of that ad. And I'm really disappointed that I just simply didn't take that trade. I could have added back when it came down. So yeah, I'm a little disappointed about that. I'm happy that I got out. I'm disappointed that I didn't take the profits when it went up. Okay, what happened? It did end up going down further, and I accidentally added 2 and scalped 2 real quick. I only wanted to do 1, but that's okay. It was a profitable little scalp right here for 1. It came all the way back up to the price that I added. I'm actually feeling a little bit more confident about this area as the low of the day. I'm not sure, but I'm feeling confident. Right now we got our average price right here, and all it's got to do is go up and we'll break even for the day. And when price moves drastically against you like this, unexpectedly, my goal really is just to break even and get out of the trade. We're approaching lunchtime, which is consumed the whole morning. And now basically, I'm not even sure if we'll make money today. Some days you'll make money, some days you won't. Hopefully, though, on the bad days, you're not losing money, and that's what could happen right here is the unexpected news and reversal completely kept going down. Hopefully, this will be the bottom, though. If this does go up, we'll be able to break even, and if that's the bottom, we might be able to make some money today, too, depending on how high it goes. Sometimes things go up pretty highly and completely turn out to be a bullish day. We don't know exactly yet, but if it goes down from here, I'm not exactly sure what the game plan is. I really want to make a trade in the Apex account. If I think this is the bottom, then I can really work that Apex account out in this area. But if it's going to be lunchtime in 30 minutes, I'm not sure exactly what to do. So I might just hold off and just trade the simulator for a break-even trade today. Oh, I see what it's battling up against now. It's trying to push back up over the high of yesterday, previous day. That white line is the high of the previous day. It's trying to get back over the top of that. That's what we're seeing. Okay. So right here in the 10,000 tick chart, you can see that line from the previous day's high over here. And it's trying to get back over the top of it. This is where resistance was before it popped up through there. And it failed underneath it. So we don't know. Yeah, this is an important moment in price action. Because if it can't get over the top of that and rolls back down, it's probably going to come back down to the low and even go back lower than the low of the day right here and continue down. All right, what did I do? I scalped a couple again. I scalped 2 more. This area is looking pretty interesting. These reversal patterns, I like to see multiple times to sell off with creating higher lows with consolidation. And it could fail, but I'm just looking to, I added 1, so now I'm actually long 3 for the first time, except for these small scalps where I added 2 and it was long 4 just for a quick pop. Right now I'm holding 3, and I'm willing to hold this third one down to down to the bottom. If it were to come down this far, I think I'd probably get out of it because then I wouldn't trust it to continue down for the rest of the day. So hopefully it'll work. It looks good on the 10,000 tick chart too, creating this longer term W pattern, creating higher lows, consolidating with some nice bullish candles. Hopefully it'll get over that white line, which is that previous day's high, or it's struggling, and just pop right through that and keep on going, hopefully. Okay, fortunately it went up and we sold 1 long 2 now. It was looking a little scary right here as it's starting to come down, but it just ended up creating another higher low, which is great for the pattern. And we're just holding 2 now, and all we get, today's just been a bad day. Now, if this continues to look bullish as it reverses and swings around, we'll be doing really good. But today basically was we're long, and then price went against us during the news, and hopefully it's found its bottom, and now it's looking like it wants to reverse and go back up. So we'll see if we can, break even for the day, hopefully. I'm looking at the 5-minute chart over here in the top right, consolidating under all the moving averages, looking like it wants to drop off. So I got to be I should just get out of it right now. I really should. The 15-minute chart underneath the crisscrossed moving averages, looking like it wants to consolidate and push down lower. I'm long right now, 2 micros. And on the 60-minute chart, basically we still have a bullish pattern where it's pulled down to the moving averages, but now it's getting trapped in between these two moving averages. Everything's still kind of positive to the upside looking, which means it could pop up again like it did right here. I think the next time it pops up, I'm going to close for a small loss, even if I can't break even because of the mixed signals, and it's going to be pushing into 2 o'clock here in the next 30 minutes, and I don't like to get trapped in a trade with only 2 hours left of the day. So I'm hoping it pops up so I can just get out of the trade for less of a loss, small loss. Well, I hope I'm right about the support level down here. It just shot way down here, and I've been scalping 1, 1, 1 3 times, keeping my average price down here, but making 10, 15, 20 bucks at a time to kind of make some of that back, and hoping that this is really the low for the day, and if it goes lower, it won't happen until tomorrow or tonight. So I'm just taking whatever I can get here on these little pop-ups that it does in between while it's trying to make up its mind what it wants to do. I'm just trying to get whatever I can on it. Just get me something.
Order submitted.
I'm going to sell most of my position right here and just keep 1 micro because I'm tired of playing with it.
Order filled.
There goes 1. Hopefully it'll hit this next one.
Order filled.
Okay, now I only have 1 micro, and I'm down about 136 bucks, so we'll see if it can go up a little bit here. I am tired of messing with it. Plus, it's almost 2 o'clock. Okay, I'm going to accept defeat today. We got a nice bounce back up to that area that I was looking for just to close my position. And if it keeps going up and I miss a bigger home run, that's fine. But I'm just going to accept a small loss today of $82. That's quite all right. With only 2 hours, less than 2 hours to go of the trading day, I don't want to be caught in a position that I can't scalp out and it's desperate and all. I like to be done at 2 o'clock with my trading strategy, and because I need plenty of time for price to figure out what it wants to do. If we get a last hour flush to the downside and a continuation to sell off, I'm going to be in big trouble. $82 loss for the day is nothing. So I'm very grateful for that. We'll see you on the next video.